Have you ever noticed an older loved one struggling to lift a bag of groceries or stand up from a low chair? Maybe you have felt your arms and legs not being as strong as they used to be. It's easy to shrug it off and think, well, I'm just getting old. But what if I told you that losing muscle isn't just an inevitable part of aging and that you can fight back? Today, we're going to talk about a condition called sarcopenia, the fancy name for age-related muscle loss and how you can reverse it. Yes, you read that right. This is the story of how you or your aging family members can go from feeling frail to feeling fit again, using something as simple as the food on your plate with a dash of the right exercise. So get comfortable and imagine a healthier, stronger you as we dive in. Picture this. John is 70 years old. He loves gardening and playing with his grandkids. Over the years, he noticed he's gotten weaker. Lifting the watering can feels heavier, and after playing with the little ones for a while, he's exhausted. Climbing the porch steps leaves him winded. He figures, I guess this is just old age, but deep down, it worries him. If it keeps getting worse, will he be able to keep up the activities he loves? John's story is all too common, but it doesn't have to end the way you might think. In fact, John is about to discover that muscle loss can be stopped and even reversed, allowing him to regain strength and confidence. And so can you. Meet sarcopenia, the muscle thief of aging. Let's start by uncovering what's happening. Sarcopenia, from the Greek words for vanishing flesh, is the medical term for the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that happens as people get older. Think of it as a muscle thief that slowly chips away at your strength over the years. This sneaky thief often starts as early as your 30s or 40s, when most of us don't even notice it. At first, it might be subtle. Maybe you have to put a little more effort into opening that pickle jar, or you feel a tiny bit weaker carrying groceries. But over time, the muscle thief gains momentum. Between age 40 and 70, a healthy adult can lose about 8% of their muscle per decade, and after 70, the loss can speed up to as much as 15% per decade if we don't do anything about it. No wonder many people in their 70s or 80s feel a lot less strong than in their midlife years. Now you might be thinking, isn't that just normal? Everyone gets weaker when they age. It's true that everyone experiences some muscle loss with age. It's a natural part of getting older. But here's the catch. Some people lose muscle much faster than others, and that's when it becomes sarcopenia. In fact, experts estimate that between 5 to 13% of people in their 60s have sarcopenia, and it jumps to as many as 50%, half of people in their 80s. That's a lot of people potentially struggling with weakness and frailty. Yet many don't even know this condition has a name or that anything can be done about it. They just assume it's normal aging and suffer in silence. Why losing muscle matters. It's not just about strength. So, why should we care about a little muscle loss? Well, sarcopenia doesn't just make you feel weaker. It can actually change your life in serious ways. Muscles aren't just for bodybuilders. We need them for the everyday tasks that keep us independent. When muscles decline, your daily activities get harder. Suddenly, climbing stairs, carrying laundry, or even getting out of a chair can feel like running a marathon. You might find yourself avoiding activities you used to enjoy because they're too exhausting or difficult. Balance and mobility suffer. Muscles help steady us. With less muscle, older adults often develop poor balance and walk more slowly. This raises the risk of stumbles and falls. Risk of injuries and falls increases. We've all heard of elderly people falling and breaking a hip. Sarcopenia is a big part of that. Weaker muscles and poorer balance lead to more falls, and a bad fall can be devastating, leading to hospital stays or long-term disability. Loss of independence, perhaps the scariest consequence. If it becomes hard to do basic tasks, bathing, dressing, cooking, one might need assistance or caregiving. Sarcopenia can ultimately lead to frailty, where a person can't live on their own safely. It's even linked to needing nursing home care in severe cases. No one wants to give up their independence or burden their family, and tackling muscle loss is key to preventing that. Reading this might feel a bit grim. If you're older or have an older parent, it might even be scary to think about losing strength and freedom. You might be asking yourself, is there anything I can do, or am I just destined to get weaker? The great news, and the heart of our story today, is that you can do something about it. In a moment, we'll talk about how to fight back. But first, let's understand why this muscle loss happens, because understanding the enemy is the first step to defeating it. Why muscle shrink? Use it or lose it. Muscle loss has a few culprits. A big one is simply not using them enough. There's a saying, use it or lose it, and it's true for muscles. As people get older, they sometimes move less. Maybe retirement leads to a more sedentary lifestyle, or aches and pains make exercise harder. If you stop challenging your muscles, they get the signal that they aren't needed and start to wither, atrophy. Another factor is nutrition. Many older adults, for various reasons, don't eat enough protein or calories to maintain their muscle mass. Sometimes appetite decreases with age, or dental issues make chewing meat difficult, or cooking for one doesn't seem worth the trouble. The result? The body doesn't get the building blocks it needs to repair and build muscle, making muscle loss worse. Hormonal changes play a role too. As we age, our bodies produce less growth hormone and testosterone, which are important for muscle maintenance. Chronic illnesses or inflammation can contribute as well, basically putting the body in a more catabolic, muscle-breaking state. But regardless of why it's happening, we now know it is happening. Our muscle thief is real. The key takeaway so far, if you're feeling weaker as you get older, you are not crazy and you're not alone. It's a genuine biological process, sarcopenia, that many people experience. However, it's not a one-way street. This thief can be caught, and you can take back what's yours. Turning the tide. Yes, you can regain muscle. Time for some hope. Remember John from our story? He was feeling weaker and thought it was hopeless. But John learns an amazing fact. Sarcopenia can be slowed down and even reversed. Studies show that with the right approach, older adults can regain strength and muscle, significantly improving their quality of life. In other words, it's never too late to rebuild what you've lost. If that sounds too good to be true, let me share a remarkable example that still inspires scientists today. What if I told you about a group of 90-year-olds who started lifting weights and literally transformed their bodies? It really happened. In a landmark study, nursing home residents aged 86 to 96, yes, almost 100 years old, began a supervised weight training program. The results were astonishing. After just 8 weeks, some of these nonagenarians improved their strength 3 to 4-fold, meaning they became 300 to 400% stronger than before. Many of them ended up stronger than they had been in years. Think about that for a second. People who were in their 10th decade of life, many of whom had been frail and sedentary, managed to triple their strength by challenging their muscles again. If 90-year-olds can do that, imagine what's possible for someone in their 60s or 70s. The improvements weren't just numbers on a gym chart. They were real-life changes you could see. Some of these elders who used to need canes to walk were able to ditch the cane entirely after their training. They could walk on their own, steady and confident. Others could rise from a chair without using their arms for leverage, something they hadn't done in a long time. They even walked faster and had better balance. One geriatric specialist famously said this study proved that even at a very advanced age, physical frailty is treatable. In other words, getting older is inevitable, but growing weaker doesn't have to be. I don't know about you, but I find this incredibly inspiring. It tells us we have more control than we think. Now, the people in that study didn't just magically get stronger. They put in work by exercising. And exercise especially strength or resistance training, is indeed a crucial part of the solution. But exercise alone isn't our focus today. We're here to talk about an equally important hero in this fight: nutrition. Before we jump into food, let's quickly acknowledge exercise. Exercise is essential. The cornerstone of reversing sarcopenia is to get those muscles working. This doesn't mean you have to bench press heavy weights at the gym. It can be as simple as doing chair squats, sitting and standing from a chair repeatedly, walking, using light dumbbells or resistance bands at home, or even carrying groceries regularly. The key is consistency and gradually challenging your muscles. If you're new to exercise or have health issues, consult your doctor and perhaps work with a physical therapist or trainer who understands older adults. Even a couple of sessions per week of resistance exercise can make a huge difference. Remember John? He started doing simple exercises every other day. Little by little, he could lift more and move easier. Your muscles respond when you give them a reason to. But here's the thing. To rebuild muscle, exercise alone isn't enough. You need to feed those muscles the right fuel and building blocks. Imagine trying to build a brick wall with an eager team of workers, exercise, but only a handful of bricks and mortar, nutrition. The wall won't get very high. Your body works the same way. After you challenge your muscles through activity, they must have protein and nutrients available to repair the muscle fibers and make them stronger. This is where diet comes in, and it's a game changer. In fact, when paired with exercise, eating a healthy diet can actually reverse the effects of sarcopenia, especially a diet rich in protein. So let's open up the toolkit of foods that help reverse muscle loss. These are the foods and nutrients that will help you or your loved ones regain strength and vitality. Foods that fight sarcopenia, fueling your muscle comeback. It's time to head to the kitchen because the foods you eat can be powerful medicine against muscle loss. A healthy diet, rich in the right nutrients, literally provides the raw materials for your body to rebuild muscle tissue. Research has shown that older adults who consume diets high in high-quality protein, along with plenty of fruits and vegetables, tend to have more muscle and less frailty than those who eat a poorer diet. In fact, a well-planned diet can work just as effectively as some supplements in preventing muscle loss. Let's break down the star players of an anti-sarcopenia diet. 1. Protein, your muscle's best friend. If one nutrient could wear a cape in this story, it would be protein. Protein is made up of amino acids, often called the building blocks of muscle. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids that it uses to repair and build muscle fibers. Without enough protein, your body simply can't rebuild the muscle you lose. It's like trying to patch a brick wall with no bricks in hand. Older adults need more protein than younger people to get the same muscle-building effect. Why? As we age, our muscles become a bit resistant to growth signals, a phenomenon scientists call anabolic resistance. Think of it like this. When you were 20, eating a small piece of chicken, protein, might have flipped the switch to build muscle easily. At 70, you might need a larger piece or higher quality protein to flip that same switch. Experts emphasize that consuming more than just the bare minimum of protein is critical for seniors. In fact, eating ample protein sends a direct signal to your muscles to grow and get stronger. That's why protein is even more important as you get older, not less. Unfortunately, many seniors actually eat less protein than they did in middle age, exactly at the time they need it most. So how much protein are we talking about? A general guideline many nutritionists and doctors suggest is to include 20 to 30 grams of protein in each meal. To visualize that, 20 to 30 grams of protein could be a piece of meat, fish, or poultry about the size of your palm, around 3 to 4 ounces. Or it could be a generous serving of Greek yogurt with some nuts, or a heaping cup of beans or lentils. Another way to think of it, aim for protein to take up about a quarter of your plate at each meal. By spreading protein throughout the day, you give your muscles a steady supply of building material. High-protein foods to include: There's a wide variety of protein-rich foods, so you can choose ones you enjoy. Good options include lean meats like chicken, turkey, lean beef, fish, salmon, tuna, sardines. These have the bonus of healthy fats we'll discuss soon. Eggs, dairy products, milk, yogurt, cheese, cottage cheese, and plant proteins like beans, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, edamame, nuts and seeds. Even whole grains like quinoa have decent protein. If you enjoy smoothies, adding a high-quality protein powder, like whey protein, can be an easy way to boost intake, especially if appetite is an issue. In fact, whey protein, which comes from milk, is particularly effective because it's digested quickly and is rich in an amino acid called leucine. Why does that matter? Leucine is like a master switch for muscle growth. It's one of the most crucial amino acids for stimulating muscle building in the body. Foods high in leucine, dairy, whey, meats, fish, eggs, and soy products are especially helpful in fighting sarcopenia. So a glass of milk or a protein shake, an omelet, or a serving of fish not only gives protein, but also that leucine trigger to maximize muscle repair. If you're thinking, I'm not a big meat eater and I fill up quickly these days, you're not alone. Many older adults struggle with appetite or have trouble chewing tougher meats. The good news is, protein comes in many forms. It's not all steaks and chicken breasts. Soft options like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, scrambled eggs, or a hearty bean soup can be easier to handle and still pack in protein. Even peanut butter on whole grain toast or a handful of nuts can contribute to your daily protein goals. The key is to consciously include some protein in every meal and snack. Instead of tea and toast for breakfast, very little protein, try adding an egg or some yogurt. Instead of just a salad for lunch, throw in some beans, chicken, or cheese. These small changes add up, and if you find you really can't get enough protein from food due to low appetite or dietary restrictions, consider talking to a nutritionist or doctor about a protein supplement. These can help bridge the gap so you meet your needs. The bottom line, protein is priority number one. It's the literal material your muscles are made of, and getting enough is absolutely crucial to reverse muscle loss. 2. Vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin for strength. Vitamin D might already be on your radar for bone health, but it's also a secret weapon for muscle health. In fact, low levels of vitamin D have been linked with an increased risk of sarcopenia, muscle loss, and conversely, getting enough vitamin D can help maintain and improve muscle strength and function in older adults. It's so important that researchers call vitamin D a key factor in the prevention of sarcopenia. Why is vitamin D special? For one, it helps your body absorb calcium and keep bones strong, which matters because weak muscles plus weak bones is a dangerous combo. But vitamin D also seems to act directly on muscles, helping them function better and possibly influencing muscle growth. Our bodies can make vitamin D when our skin is exposed to sunlight, hence the nickname sunshine vitamin. However, as people age, the skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D. Moreover, older adults tend to spend more time indoors. The result is that many seniors are deficient in vitamin D. In fact, the recommended dietary intake of vitamin D is higher for people over 70 than for younger adults. About 20 micrograms, 800 IU of vitamin D per day for 70-plus adults, compared to 15 micrograms, 600 IU for those in midlife. Our need for D increases just as it becomes harder to get. That's why paying attention to vitamin D is critical. How to get vitamin D? Start with sunlight if you can, a few short sessions of sun exposure per week, without sunscreen for about 10 to 15 minutes. Arms and legs exposed, when UV index isn't too low, can help your body produce vitamin D. Of course, always balance this with skin cancer considerations. You don't need to tan or burn, just modest sun exposure. However, depending on where you live, especially in northern climates or during winter, sunlight might not be sufficient year-round. Dietary sources of vitamin D are relatively few, but there are some good ones. Fatty fish are among the best. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, and tuna contain a good amount of vitamin D, and as a bonus, they're high in protein and omega-3s. Egg yolks also contain vitamin D. Hens that roam outside or eat enriched feed produce eggs with even more D. Some foods come fortified with vitamin D, meaning the vitamin has been added during production. Common fortified foods include milk, plant-based milk alternatives, orange juice, and many breakfast cereals. For example, a cup of fortified milk typically provides a substantial portion of the day's vitamin D requirement. Mushrooms are a unique source. When exposed to sunlight or UV light, mushrooms can generate vitamin D. Some store-bought mushrooms are treated to boost their D content. Check labels for UV-treated mushrooms. Even with these foods, many older adults find it tough to get enough vitamin D from diet and sunshine alone. This is one area where a supplement is often recommended by doctors. If you get a blood test and find your vitamin D is low, a daily supplement can be an easy fix. Adequate vitamin D can improve muscle function and reduce falls by improving balance and strength in the legs. So ensuring you have enough vitamin D is like laying a strong foundation for your muscles to grow on. It works hand in hand with exercise and protein to get you stronger. 3 omega-3 fatty acids, fighting inflammation, boosting muscle. You've probably heard of omega-3 fatty acids, the healthy fats famously found in fish oil, among other things. Omega-3s are well known for heart and brain health, but here's a lesser-known fact. They can also help combat sarcopenia. Omega-3s have potent anti-inflammatory properties. Why does that matter for muscle? As we age, our bodies tend to have higher levels of inflammation, even if we don't feel it directly, which can contribute to muscle breakdown and hinder muscle growth. By reducing inflammation, omega-3s create a more favorable environment for muscle maintenance. But beyond that, there's evidence that omega-3s might even directly stimulate muscle growth on a cellular level. Researchers have done studies where older adults were given omega-3 supplements along with an exercise program. In one study, participants around 60 to 70 years old did strength training while taking about 2 grams of fish oil, omega-3, per day. The group taking omega-3s gained more muscle strength than the group doing the same exercise without omega-3s. In other words, omega-3s seem to boost the effectiveness of the exercise, likely by speeding recovery and enhancing the muscle's adaptive response. This doesn't mean omega-3s magically build muscle on their own, but they appear to be a helpful tool in the muscle-building toolbox. Getting omega-3s in your diet. The top sources are fatty fish. Salmon is a superstar here. One serving of salmon can easily provide over 1.5 to 2 grams of omega-3s, and so are sardines, mackerel, trout, and tuna. Aim to eat fish a couple of times a week if you enjoy it, not only for omega-3s, but you'll also get high-quality protein and some vitamin D from the fish, making it a perfect muscle-fighting food. In fact, health organizations recommend older adults consume fish about 1 to 2 times per week for general health benefits, heart, brain, and now muscle. If you're not a fish eater, there are plant sources of omega-3, though it's a slightly different type, LA type of omega-3, which the body partially converts to the beneficial EPA-DHA forms. Walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and hemp seeds are rich in omega-3s. You can sprinkle ground flax or chia in your oatmeal or smoothie, snack on walnuts, or use canola oil, which has some omega-3 in cooking. Additionally, certain foods like eggs, milk, or even bread may be fortified with omega-3. Some hens are given flaxseed and feed to produce omega-3 rich eggs, for example. Check labels at the grocery store. You might be surprised. Omega-3 supplements, like fish oil or algal oil for vegetarians, are an option if dietary intake is low. It's worth discussing with your doctor whether a fish oil supplement is right for you. The goal isn't to megadose, but a moderate daily dose could help if you don't eat fish. Remember, Omega-3s support your muscle efforts by taming inflammation and nudging muscles to grow, but they work best in conjunction with resistance exercise and adequate protein. Think of omega-3s as the oil that keeps the machine running smoothly as you do the work of rebuilding muscle. Foods and vegetables, the underrated muscle protectors. It might surprise you to hear that fruits and veggies play a role in fighting muscle loss. After all, a carrot or an apple doesn't contain protein for muscle, so what gives? Well, fruits and vegetables are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support overall health and help create the optimal internal environment for muscle maintenance. One big factor is that many fruits and veggies combat inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. As we discussed, chronic inflammation can accelerate muscle breakdown. Antioxidants, like vitamin C, vitamin E, polyphenols, etc., found in produce help neutralize that process. Studies have found that older adults who eat more vegetables and fruits tend to have better muscle function and higher muscle mass than those who skimp on greens. Diet patterns like the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, olive oil, and fish, are associated with a lower risk of sarcopenia and better muscle strength in old age. In contrast, a diet high in processed foods, sugars, and unhealthy fats, often called a Western diet, is linked to greater muscle loss and frailty. What this tells us is that an overall healthy diet is crucial, and fruits and vegetables are a huge part of that healthy diet puzzle. Which fruits and veggies are best? Honestly, almost all of them have benefits, so variety is key. Focus on colorful produce because color often indicates nutrient density. For example, berries, strawberries, blueberries, etc. are rich in antioxidants that can reduce inflammation. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard provide magnesium and potassium, important for muscle function and preventing cramps, and vitamin K, important for bones, which attach to muscles. Citrus fruits and bell peppers are high in vitamin C, which your body uses to make collagen, a component of muscle and tendon, and also supports your immune system. Tomatoes, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, apples, oranges, each bring their own mix of vitamins like A, C, E, and minerals. Bananas or avocado give potassium, which helps with muscle nerve signaling. One more benefit of fruit and vegetables is that they help maintain a healthy acid-base balance in the body. Diets heavy in meat and grains can produce a more acidic environment in the body, which might contribute to muscle breakdown. Fruits and vegetables are more alkaline and can counteract that, potentially reducing muscle protein breakdown. It's a bit of a complex nutritional science topic, but the takeaway is, eat your veggies. They support muscle health in indirect but important ways. Plus, they are high in fiber, which is good for digestion and can help ensure you're absorbing nutrients well. An easy rule: try to fill half of your plate with vegetables or fruits at each meal. For instance, pair your protein, meat or alternative, with a big side of roasted veggies, a colorful salad, or some steamed greens. Have a piece of fruit as a snack or dessert. These plant foods will complement your protein by reducing inflammation and providing micronutrients that keep your muscles and the rest of your body healthy. 5. Don't forget fluids and other nutrients. While protein, vitamin D, and omega-3 are the headliners, there are other nutritional factors to keep in mind. Staying hydrated is one of them. Even mild dehydration can cause you to feel weaker and reduce your physical performance. Muscle is about 70% water after all. Older folks sometimes have a diminished sense of thirst, so make it a habit to sip water regularly or enjoy hydrating foods like watermelon, cucumbers, or soups. Adequate hydration helps your muscles recover and function well. Other vitamins and minerals are also players in muscle health. B vitamins like B12 are important for energy and muscle metabolism. A B12 deficiency can cause muscle weakness, so ensure you get enough B12, found in animal foods and fortified cereals, or via a supplement if needed. Magnesium and potassium, found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and nuts, are crucial for proper muscle contractions and preventing cramps. Calcium, dairy, fortified plant milks, leafy greens is not only for bones, but also helps muscles contract properly. Protein's partner nutrient is carbohydrates. Yes, carbs. While protein builds muscle, carbs provide the energy for your workouts and daily activities. If you don't eat enough healthy carbs, whole grains, fruits, starchy vegetables like sweet potato, your body might end up using protein for energy instead of muscle building, which isn't ideal. So include balanced portions of whole grain bread or rice, oatmeal, potatoes, etc. to keep your energy up, especially if you're exercising more. Lastly, let's mention what to limit or avoid in your diet. Highly processed junk foods, excessive sugars, and too much alcohol. These provide lots of calories but very little nutrition, and they can promote inflammation or simply displace more nutritious foods from your diet. For example, if someone has a pastry and coffee for breakfast, mostly sugar and refined carbs, little protein, that's a missed opportunity to feed their muscles. Try to swap out nutritionally empty foods for nutrient-dense ones. You don't have to be perfect, treats in moderation are fine, but keep the majority of your meals aligned with your muscle-building goals. Putting it all together, tips for building muscle with nutrition and lifestyle. We've covered a lot of ground, from understanding sarcopenia to seeing that it can be fought, to identifying the foods and nutrients that help reverse it. Now, how do you put this knowledge into practice in your daily life? Here are some practical, actionable tips to tie it all together. Make protein a priority at every meal. Plan your meals around your protein source. For example, tomorrow's breakfast could be oatmeal with a scoop of protein powder, or Greek yogurt mixed in instead of plain oatmeal, or scrambled eggs with a slice of whole grain toast and fruit. Lunch might be a tuna salad or a bean and veggie soup instead of just a plain salad. Dinner could feature grilled chicken or fish with sides of quinoa and steamed veggies. By deliberately including protein each time you eat, you're consistently signaling your body to build muscle. If you find it hard to get enough protein from 3 meals, add a small protein-rich snack, maybe a handful of almonds in the afternoon or a glass of milk before bed. This steady intake is more effective for muscle building than one large steak at dinner and little protein the rest of the day. Boost vitamin D and omega-3s through smart food choices. Think about how you can get some sunshine foods and healthy fats into your week. Perhaps set a goal to eat fish twice this week. You could have a salmon fillet one day and tuna salad sandwiches on another. Or if fish isn't your thing, use ground flaxseed or chia in your cereal. And have an omelet with some spinach and cheese for vitamin D and protein regularly. If you suspect you're low in vitamin D, quite common in older adults, it might be worth taking a supplement. Talk to your doctor about checking your levels. Having optimal vitamin D will help your muscles function better and reduce injury risk. As for omega-3s, a daily fish oil capsule could be beneficial if diet is lacking, but again, consult with a healthcare provider for personalized advice. Color your plate with fruits and veggies. A simple habit is the half-plate rule. Make half your plate veggies/fruit, 1/4 protein, 1/4 healthy carbs. So if you're having chicken and rice, for example, make sure you have a big serving of broccoli, carrots, or salad alongside it. Enjoy fruit as dessert or snacks, like berries with yogurt, double win, fruit plus protein, or an apple with peanut butter. These plants will supply those antioxidant nutrients that help keep inflammation in check, supporting your muscles' recovery from exercise and daily wear and tear. Plus, the fiber will keep your gut happy, and a healthy gut means better nutrient absorption overall. Don't undereat. It might sound obvious, but to regain muscle, you need to eat enough food overall. Some older adults unintentionally eat very little, maybe tea and toast for breakfast, a small something for lunch, etc., leading to a low-calorie intake. If you're in a calorie deficit, eating significantly less than your body needs, your body might struggle to add any new muscle. Ensure you're getting balanced, satisfying meals. It's not about force-feeding yourself. It's about nutrient density. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish. If you have a small appetite, try smaller meals more often. For example, have 5 mini meals a day instead of 3 larger ones. Each mini meal should have some protein and some healthy carbs and fats. A bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and granola mid-morning, half a turkey sandwich in the afternoon, a cup of soup with beans later on, these can all add up. By keeping a steady intake, you'll provide a constant supply of fuel to your muscles. Remember, many older adults lose muscle partly because they don't eat enough, so eating adequately and nutritiously is a simple but vital step. Combine diet with exercise for a 1-2 punch. We've said it before, but it's worth emphasizing. Diet and exercise work together. You'll get the best results if you do both. Plan for some form of physical activity most days of the week. It could be as simple as a daily 30-minute walk, great for health though not muscle building by itself, plus 2 to 3 days a week of strength exercises targeting major muscle groups. After you exercise, have a protein-rich meal or snack within an hour or two. This timing can help maximize muscle repair and growth. For instance, if you do some gardening or a workout in the morning, treat yourself to a nice smoothie with fruit and protein powder, or a cheese omelet with veggies afterwards. Think of exercise as telling your body to get stronger, and nutrition is giving it the materials to do so. Both messages together say, "Hey body, let's build back these muscles." Stay consistent and patient. Reversing sarcopenia doesn't happen overnight. It may take a few weeks to a few months of regular effort before you notice significant changes, but you will start feeling small differences sooner. Perhaps after a couple of weeks, you realize you can carry the grocery bags in 1 trip instead of 2, or you're not as winded climbing stairs. Celebrate those wins. Consistency is your best friend. Make these eating habits part of your routine. And remember John from our story? After 3 months of sticking with his protein-rich diet and exercise routine, he found he could kneel in his garden and get back up without using the fence for support, something he hadn't done in years. Small steps lead to big changes. Engage with others and keep it fun. Motivation can sometimes dip, so it helps to have support. Perhaps you can involve a spouse, friend, or a group in your healthy eating or exercise endeavors. Swap recipes for protein-packed meals with friends, or make it a social event to cook together once a week. Maybe join a local senior exercise class or walking group. The camaraderie will keep you accountable. Turn on some music and make cooking enjoyable. This isn't a drudgery diet, it's a positive lifestyle change. You're doing something empowering for yourself, reclaiming your strength. Also, don't hesitate to talk with your doctor or a dietitian if you need personalized advice or adjustments, especially if you have conditions like kidney issues that affect protein intake, etc. Always personal health factors matter. Mindset, age is just a number. Perhaps the most important element is believing that improvement is possible. I want to reassure you, it absolutely is. Science and real-life stories have shown us that people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond can not only slow muscle loss, but actually gain muscle and strength when they dedicate effort to it. So cast aside the notion that I'm too old to change. It's simply not true. As one set of researchers put it, many frail older folks just haven't been given the right opportunity and guidance. But when they are, they often respond remarkably well. Your body is an amazing machine that can adapt at any age. By nourishing it and moving it, you activate natural processes of repair and growth that have been lying in wait. It's never too late to start. Even small changes can yield meaningful improvements in strength, energy, and quality of life. We've journeyed through the challenge of sarcopenia and emerged with a strategy to conquer it. Now the next chapter is up to you. It's time to translate this knowledge into action. Remember, reversing muscle loss is not an overnight miracle. It's a commitment to yourself, a new chapter of healthy habits. But it's a journey well worth taking, because at the end of it lies a stronger, more independent you. So what's your action plan? Perhaps you'll start by adding an extra serving of protein to your day, or by taking a gentle walk this afternoon and doing a few chair squats. Maybe you'll stock up on vitamin D-rich foods or finally pick up that vitamin D supplement. Have you ever noticed that you feel better on days you eat well and stay active? Pay attention to that feeling and let it motivate you to continue. Every good meal and every bit of exercise is an investment in your muscles and your future independence. I'd like to invite you to engage. What change will you make first? Leave a comment below sharing one thing you plan to do to boost your muscle health. Maybe it's a favorite high-protein recipe, or a pledge to walk 3 times a week, or a question you have. Your comment might inspire someone else reading this who is on the fence about taking action. If you're an older adult who successfully built up strength, we'd especially love to hear your story. What worked for you? What challenges did you overcome? Let's support each other in this community. And if you found this information helpful or important, please share this video with friends or family who could benefit. So many people have never heard that muscle loss can be fought. You might be the one who gives them hope and a practical path forward by sharing this knowledge. Imagine a whole generation of seniors feeling empowered to stay strong and active. We can make that happen by spreading the word and encouraging each other. In closing, remember this mantra: it's never too late. You have more power than you think. Your muscles are listening to what you do and what you feed them, starting right now. So let's nourish them, challenge them, and watch improvement happen. Whether you're 50, 60, or 90, you can take steps to regain strength. Your future self will thank you for the actions you take today. Here's to a stronger, healthier you. Now go out there and rewrite your story with strength and confidence. You've got this. Thank you for joining me on this journey through nutrition and sarcopenia. If you have any questions or want more details on anything we covered, ask away in the comments. I'm here to help. Together, let's turn the tide on muscle loss and make healthy aging a reality for everyone.